Nobody expected this to happen to South Africa. So, for almost 2 months now, the people of South Africa have been chasing away other Africans from their country. They say they don't want blacks from other African countries in their country. But the government of the United States just announced that they are terminating a critical funding for South Africa. It is called the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS, PEPFAR, which is a funding given to South Africa to help their citizens living with HIV and AIDS.
The Trump administration has moved to end U.S. HIV funding for South Africa, accusing the country of failing to address concerns about the treatment of its white minority and triggering fears of a major public health crisis. The decision affects the president's emergency plan for AIDS relief.
South Africa. Have you guys seen the news? Trump administration have ended the funding of HIV in South Africa. South Africa. Why did he end this funding? He said
Jacinta and crew have caused a lot of problems for South Africa. So today, guys, news headline: Trump to end HIV funding in South Africa over failure to protect Afrikaners. This is what Trump decided to do to South Africa because South African governments failed to protect Afrikaners, not just Afrikaners, in fact, the country and people that lives in South Africa. Due to the ongoing crisis that is currently happening in South Africa, the xenophobic attacks, it is affecting every individual in South Africa, businesses, a lot of things are collapsing. So right now, Trump have decided to punish South Africans just because of that particular issue, and he has decided to withdraw the HIV funds that he has been giving to South Africa. And we all know that South Africa has the highest number of HIV and AIDS. Yes, they do. I'm gonna be sharing the videos to see for you guys to see the reactions of people and what they have to say concerning this particular issue. As you're watching, please kindly like the video, share the video, and please subscribe to the channel.
South Africa. Have you guys seen the news? Trump administration have ended the funding of HIV in South Africa. South Africa. Why did he end this funding? He said the whites are not well treated. That was why Trump administration is ending the funding to HIV treatment in South Africa. And the funniest thing is HIV is very, very common. It's like malaria in South Africa. That's how HIV is. HIV is that disease, is that ailment that South Africans have. Why? South Africans are very, very loose. Their women, they give them back to back. Their knacking skills, no before here. They knack without condoms, most of them. So they get this HIV problem. They get this HIV disease. So America has been funding this treatment for them for years. But you know what American is? Once they don't get what they want, they put a sanction on your country. Now South Africa, they are taking our jobs. Go into that field and find a cure for HIV. They are taking your jobs. They are taking our women. Go and find a cure for HIV. Now that source of funding for the cure for treating of HIV has been taken away from you, what are you guys going to do? They are taking your jobs. They are taking our women. Now Trump has taken the funding for HIV. I hope you people will wake up. South Africans, I hope the hatred you have for your fellow Africans will make you think and do the right thing. Trump, this one that you did, I am very happy. You know, I am so happy for taking that funding away from South Africa. Let me see how they are taking our jobs. They are taking our women. Let me see how they will survive. Let me see how they will survive. At least in Africa, we have Agbo, we have other African medicine to cure ourselves, to take care of ourselves. Let me see what these people without pedigree, let me see what they will do. They are taking our jobs, they are taking our women.
Nobody expected this to happen to South Africa. So, for almost 2 months now, the people of South Africa have been chasing away other Africans from their country. They say they don't want blacks from other African countries in their country. But the government of the United States just announced that they are terminating a critical funding for South Africa. It is called the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS, PEPFAR, which is a funding given to South Africa to help their citizens living with HIV and AIDS. President Trump is saying that the people of South Africa are not protecting white citizens enough, and therefore they are withdrawing the funding. Now, this is actually weird because if there is anyone or any set of people that are being worshipped in South Africa, it is actually the white citizens. But interestingly, the president of the United States thinks that they are not doing enough and they are punishing them with the withdrawal of this funding. The question now is, I hope that people from other African countries that are still present in South Africa are making plans to leave before South Africans start venting their anger on them. A word is enough for the wise.
We don't want any foreigner to run any business here, including you. Not you. I have the document. We don't care. I have all the necessary documents.
So the US to stop funding South Africa's HIV program over claims of Afrikaner persecution. Oh, Donald Trump, make them they carry their team, they go. Now, you know that South Africa has been collecting this funding aid from US, but with their recent whatever, it is not only black. They've been saying, oh, go back to your country. They're also targeting the white minority Afrikaner community. Now, Donald Trump has said they are going to stop funding their HIV aiding program to them. Mind you, South Africa have the highest number of HIV victims in the world, over 8 million. Anyways, them too, they don't respond. They say, in as much as they've not been informed of this decision, them too, they don't expect them since. And people that have been living with this disease, they've been living with it for a number of years. They are working on the self-reliance plan. Making the work can be good now, Nasabi. But Donald Trump is saying he's going to cut it off. For every year, they send over $400 million. That's 300 million euro through PEPFAR. But with all this that is going on, the US are cutting them off because you're pursuing not only the blacks, even the whites. South Africa, I don't know what's wrong with you people, but don't worry. You see, after this decision we're gonna take, you're gonna go regret them. By the time the whole nation from everywhere begin to cut off with you people, that's when you know that you cannot stand alone. People that are so lazy, you cannot work. To work, they are doing now, but you complain that they are taking our jobs, they're taking our BB, they're taking our clinic, and you people cannot work. Should be everybody don't live in our country. Don't worry, now go regret them.
The Trump administration has moved to end US HIV funding for South Africa, accusing the country of failing to address concerns about the treatment of its white minority and triggering fears of a major public health crisis. The decision affects the president's emergency plan for AIDS relief, PEPFAR, the flagship US HIV/AIDS program that has invested more than $8 billion in South Africa since its launch. US officials confirmed that funding will now be phased out, with the drawdown expected to continue into 2027. According to US State Department officials, the move was driven by South Africa's failure to meet several policy demands from Washington. Those demands reportedly included addressing concerns over the Kill the Boer chant, ending certain black economic empowerment policies, and responding to allegations of discrimination against white Afrikaners. South Africa has repeatedly rejected claims that it is persecuting white citizens. The decision comes amid worsening diplomatic relations between Washington and Pretoria. Since returning to office, President Donald Trump has accused South Africa of targeting its white minority, expelled South Africa's ambassador, and granted refugee status to some Afrikaners claiming persecution. Health experts warn the funding withdrawal could have severe consequences. South Africa has the world's largest HIV burden, with approximately 8 million people living with HIV, and US funding previously supported about 17% of the country's HIV budget. Experts say cuts have already disrupted testing, prevention programs, outreach services, and preparations for the rollout of new HIV prevention drugs. The South African government has responded by increasing domestic funding for HIV treatment and prevention, including allocating billions of rand to help replace lost US support. However, public health groups warn that rebuilding the systems previously funded by PEPFAR could take years. For supporters of the decision, the move is about holding South Africa accountable and reducing US foreign spending. For critics, it risks turning a political dispute into a public health emergency in the country with the largest HIV treatment program in the world.
Well, to me, I would say this is a good move. Let every country fix their country. Since South Africa wants to be independent, they want to stand on their own. Let them, get the medications to provide for their citizens, because there are a lot of HIV and AIDS patients in South Africa. There are a lot of them. This is not me stigmatizing them, but there are a lot of them over there. And I just hope that those people that returned, those Nigerians that returned, Ghanaians that return back home, they should be conducted, let them conduct a test for them to ascertain if they have been infected with HIV and AIDS from South Africa. Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think Trump withdrawing the HIV funds to South Africa is harsh, or it is okay? Let me know your thoughts down below the comment section. Don't forget to like the video, share, and subscribe.